Hey guys, it is Wordy Wednesday and Wordless Wednesday for our morning work. Okay, so here are our spring into spelling, and we have our three misspelled words. Okay, the first word is the word capture, the second word is the word fortune, and the third word is the word fracture, and they're all spelled incorrectly. Okay, so if you want to spell the word capture, I know it kind of sounds like there's an S in there, but actually you want to get rid of that S and replace it cap your. And then when you put it all together, it says capture. Okay, CAPTURE. Now the next word, fortune, yes, it does sound like you hear a ch, but it's just the way that the letters are kind of flowing into each other. So for, you want to keep that FOR, and then chin, it's just going to be weird. You're going to get rid of that CH and put a TUNE. That is how you spell fortune. Okay, get rid of the CH and put a T there. And the last word, fracture. Okay, I know again, it sounds like there's an SH in there, but we're going to take that SH out and going with our theme, we are going to put a T and it spells fracture, FRACTURE. So that is our three words spelled correctly. Moving on to our word match. All right, we have four words: pollen, pollinator, pollinate, and pollination. Four words that all share the same poll. They're all related in some way. Some of these are verbs, some of them are nouns. Okay, so let's try to figure out which one of these is the correct one on our definition match. So on the very top, it says noun, the process of transferring pollen from the stamen to the pistil. Okay, so when a flower pollinates, because of those bees or other insects that crawl into a flower to drink the nectar and they get all the pollen stuck to their body and then they move around, it moves it from one area of the flower to another area of the flower, and that's called pollination. Pollination is a noun, and it's the process, okay, of transferring pollen from the stamen to the pistil. So this word should have been connected to that very top box. The next word, pollinator, okay, this suffix ending, OR, is talking about a person or a thing that does the pollinating. Okay, so again, it's a noun, but which noun is it? Okay, this one would be the third box, an animal that moves pollen. So, like yesterday, we were talking about a wasp. A wasp is a pollinator, okay, an animal that moves pollen. Now, the next one, pollinate. Pollinate, ATE, is going to turn this into a verb. Okay, it's an action word. When something pollinates, it's doing an action. So this means to deposit pollen on a plant. So this should have went all the way down to your fourth box. Okay, and then the top one, pollen, again, is also a noun. It's a thing. And pollen should go to the second box. And it's the fine yellow substance that causes plants to form seeds. You need the pollen so that the flowers will reproduce, so that they will make copies of themselves. Okay, so pollen goes to the second box, pollinator goes to the third box, Pollinate goes to the fourth box, and pollination goes up to the first box. Awesome. Let's go over to Wordless Wednesday. Okay, we have parentheses. 30 times 7 parentheses plus parentheses 30 times 4 parentheses. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. We have to do both parentheses first and then add them together. So if we take a look at our first one, we're multiplying by multiples of 10. So we could do our quick way. 3 times 7 is 21. Only 1 0. So 30 times 7 is 210. Plus, now we have to do what's over here in this parentheses. Again, multiplying by a multiple of 10, so we could do it our quick way. 3 times 4 is 12. And then we put the 1 0. So 30 times 4 is 120. Now we just have to take our 210 and add 220. Line up your place values. I always say I hate doing horizontal math. I always like to put my numbers on top of each other and make sure my place values are lined up. So if you do that and you added correctly, your answer should be 330. Alrighty. Subtraction. 605,709 minus 325,769. Again, since you guys are doing this on a separate piece of paper now because you don't actually have the paper copies in front of you, unless you're printing, make sure when you write this out, you line your place values up. Ones over ones, tens over tens, hundreds over hundreds, and so forth. Always start in the ones column when we are doing subtraction or addition. So 9 minus 9, we're not going to have anything left. To our tens column, 0 minus 6. If you have nothing, you cannot take 6 away from it. So we're going to have to go over, take one of these hundreds, and then bring it over to the tens column and put it there. Remember, 10 tens equals 100. So if we take 100 from here and move it over into our tens, we're not going to give it 1 10. We have to be 10 tens. Okay, so 10 minus 6, 4. To our hundreds column, 6 minus 7. Uh-oh, it's big on the floor. We're going to have to go next door again because if you have 6, you don't have enough there to take away 7. So we're going to take one of these thousands. 5,000 is now 4,000. And we're going to add that over into the hundreds. It takes 10 hundreds to make 1,000. So take that 10 and add it to the 6 that's already there, and we have 16. 16 minus 7 is 9. Moving on to the thousands. Look at what we did again. 4 minus 5, it's big on the floor. We got to go next door. But uh-oh, there's a 0 there. So now this 0 is going to have to borrow from his neighbor so that he has something to give to the other neighbor. So 6 is going to become a 5. And this 0 at first is going to become a 10. But we're still not ready to subtract yet because this 4 needs to borrow from the 10. So the 10 is actually going to become a 9. And this 14, or I'm sorry, this 4 is going to become 14 because you got to move the 10 back and add it to the 4 that's already there. Now we can subtract. 14 minus 5 is 9. 9 minus 2, we can go ahead. Big on top, no need to stop, is 7. And 5 minus 3 is 2. So your answer should be 279,940. Let's go ahead and give that a quick check. Opposite operation, take the answer you just got. Add one of the numbers up at the top. And then see if you get the third number. This is kind of like doing a number bond. And there it is. 605,709 was the number that we started with. So if you guys remember your number bonds, don't forget those. They look like that, right? Your top number in your number bond is going to be your total, are your big number. And then down here are going to be the two numbers that, if added together, make up that number. Just a quick number bond review. Total always goes at the top, two parts go at the bottom. Okay, and our last one, 95 times 12. So we did have an opportunity to really work on doing 2 digits times 2 digits before we went out on our shutdown. But you also still know how to do the 4 square way if you still need to. I don't care which way you do it, as long as you get your right answer. So we'll do standard algorithm first. Line up your place values, cover up your 1, and do 95 times 2. 2 times 5 is 10. Put the 0, carry the 1. 2 times 9 is 18, plus 1 more is 19. Before we move on, you put your 0 down, and now you cover up your 2. 95 times 1. So 1 times 5 is 5. 1 times 9 is 9. Then we add them together. 0, 14. That should be 1,140. Now, let's go ahead and do it in our 4 square way. Take your 90, split it into expanded form, 90 and 5. Take your 12, split it into expanded form on the other side, 10 and 2. Now you just do your multiply the numbers in the box. So for this one, we have to do 90 times 10, which is 900. For this one, we're doing 5 times 10, which is 50. For this one, we're doing 90 times 2, which is 180. And for this one, we're doing 5 times 2, which is 10. Now, if we put our boxes together, 900 plus 50 is 950. Oh, look over here, 950. And 180 plus 10 is 190. Oh, look right here, 190. There's our partial products, which is what we did with our 4 square. And then again, if you add them together, you get the same answer of 1,140. Okay. We are already past the midpoint of the week. My friends look like they're doing pretty good with Zern. Okay, I go in there every morning and check to see your progress. We did notice today that until you are 100% finished the entire lesson, and remember there's 4 activities in each lesson, you're not done the lesson until you get past your Tower of Power. And until you get past Tower of Power on my end, it's not going to show that you've done any work. Okay, so you may be halfway through a lesson, but to me right now, it's looking like it's not done. So make sure that you get those lessons completely done by Friday. You have to be completely through lesson 3 because on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of next week, we're doing lesson 4, 5, and 6. What else was I going to say? I think that's it. And then tomorrow, if for any of my friends, because I do have quite a few of you, you did lesson 1 on Monday, lesson 2 on Tuesday, lesson 3 today. So tomorrow, you don't have to worry about going on Zern at all because you're completely through lesson 3. So then tomorrow and Friday, I'll have you guys just go into Reflex and get your green light. And you can kind of take a little bit of break. So now that we're doing this new routine, try to keep that in mind. If you do 1 lesson on Monday, 1 lesson on Tuesday, 1 lesson on Wednesday, then Thursday and Friday, the only thing you're going to have to do for math is get your green light on Reflex, and then you're done math for the day. If you drag those lessons out throughout the entire week, you'll be working hard all the way up until Friday. Okay, so just keep it in mind this first week, we're just kind of getting our feet back underneath of us after being on spring break, but you guys are doing great. I've seen a lot of your faces on our new Google Meet video chats. I'd like to see a lot more. I want to see Peja. I want to see Alexium. I want to see Andre and Dariana and Catherine. Where are you? Come and see us. 11 o'clock, 1 o'clock every day. Click the link in Google Classroom that I post. I also put it into our Google Hangout chat that we set up for everybody. If you are under your school email and you go to Google Hangout, you should see DFelice 2020, and everybody's in this one group chat, and you can write back and forth to each other, keep in contact with each other. Um, yeah, just keep doing what you're doing, guys. I miss you, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.